Alright, hey everyone, Isaiah is here and we're starting up with another live stream. Today we're finally going to be doing another Fan Art Friday. And I'm going to pull it up real quick. Yeah, here we go. So this is the piece that we're going to be working on a bit today. I figure we'll probably have enough time today to do the line work for this, and we may start laying down some colors too. Before we do that, we're definitely going to start off with a warm-up. I see some stuff that I want to clean up too once we get started. So we're going to want to start with a warm-up today. I want to get set. I'm going to close it. I do want to maintain the practice of trying to do more warm-ups. Give me 1 second while I get, okay, it's right here. All right, so for the warm-up today, what we're actually going to do is something a little different. So for the previous streams, I'm going to open up our little sketches folder. So the previous streams, we've been opening up with a little warm-up of some fan art. And we got a little baby Yoda sketch there, and we started working on a sketch of Claire Redfield from Resident Evil. And we're going to definitely go back to that one for future warm-ups to finish her up there, because we want to use this for all kinds of practice, for sketching warm-up practice, and then some warm-ups going to be about inking, and then some warm-ups are going to be about doing some color practice too. And we're just going to use this page and fill it up. But that's not what we're going to do today. Since today is Fan Art Friday, why don't we do the opposite for our, let's get rid of that. Why don't we do the opposite for our warm-up sketches? So at my day job, I'm trying to find the time more. I get a bunch of art samples and whatnot, and I take care of social media for a bit for that job. And so I've been trying to fit in more time for doing some quick little videos of different samples that I have, or of demo kits that we get from like paint companies and stuff like that. And I started working on a little illustration because one of the departments gave me some inks to play around with, and I started sketching out something, and I was like, this is too good for this job. I like this sketch, the way it's looking. It's gonna be an illustration for me. And I started working on something a little simpler for them, a little that I was a little less attached to. But that's in my sketchbook, and I've got that open over here on the side for myself so that I can start laying that out. So that's what our warm-up is going to be today. We're going to be laying out future illustration to do after we do the illustration that we've been working on. We'll pull that one up too. Illustration we've been working on throughout the week. And we'll get back to that one. We'll do some colors either this weekend or next week. But for now, this is what we're going to be working on. So we're just gonna focus on laying out. I really don't want these guides to go away. Laying out what I was kind of like getting in my head there. And as always, we are just very loose whenever we're laying things out. There we go. Something like that. So I kind of like that being a little larger. I'm sure a lot of people can attest to the feeling of you do a very rough thumbnail kind of sketch, and then once you start working on the full thing, you might see me get into a bit where I'm like, I'm not really capturing the essence of what I had there in the rough sketch, and that happens sometimes. But that's part of the journey of drawing. Once you start working on the full piece, you'll start discovering some things to move around and change about it. And maybe some things don't quite get the same kind of flow that you had in your original sketch, but you'll find a new flow. And you guys know me right now after, and we might do more of the verb sketches. I may dedicate a stream to that again. But you guys know that I've been kind of after the verb's suggestion of a kiss. I've been a little obsessed with trying to render lips more often. So one thing I was thinking about when I started roughing this piece out was like a lollipop. And we can play around with tongue and lip shakes. And even though we only got a little bit over here on the page, I want to make sure I go ahead and save something right now. I have no idea where I saved that other piece I've been working on, but it's in the wrong folder. I'll find that later. But you guys, if any of you guys were here with me yesterday, you saw how I saved, and then I tried to go clean up some references that I had on the background, and then I came back and the program crashed, and I lost a lot of what I had worked on for about 30 minutes or so. So we're going to make sure that we save. Okay, so there's a save file for this now. I may not do the tongue kind of action. Like we just may have the lollipop in her mouth. That would be fun, right? And then maybe, just so we can kind of like sell what's going on there, we'll have another lollipop hanging out between her fingers. So it doesn't just look like there's like this stick in her mouth. We clearly know what she is enjoying at the moment. It's not a cigarette, it's gonna be a lollipop. I was liking the idea for having a hoodie on. Yeah, you see, I'm thinking like my rough sketch had this really nice curve that was like this, and I'm not quite capturing that right now. And we're working digitally. We can just kind of move some things around, especially this early in the sketch phase. Move some things around until we get that feeling that we want. Something like that. And I think she can actually take up a little bit more room here. Illustration. It's my rough sketch. It's not exactly one-to-one to what the space that we're going to be working with here is. I'm just going to kind of keep pushing some things around, resizing some things until I'm happy. This early on, everything is very malleable still. I don't know if I entirely like the idea of the sucker in her mouth yet. We'll think about that some more. Maybe she's already finished one, and she's got a bit of a candy addiction. That's her story here. She really likes candy. Not much of a story. Lots of people like candy. And then what I was really feeling when I was doing my original rough sketch of this is just how fun it would be. I need more adjectives. I say fun a lot. But you know, how interesting it would be to have a chain link fence in the background here. That's not going to quite be the scale that I want, but we're just going to be suggesting that for now. Maybe there's like an entrance door situation here to the fence, and maybe some sort of fun alleyway situation in the background. We'll think about what's over there in the background a little bit more. But for this rough sketch, I think that's the time that we're going to dedicate to this, because we got the Fan Art Friday stuff to work on today. So, we're all warmed up. Go ahead and close that. Don't know what this blank file, there it is, so it's gone. Alright, here we go. And I'm saying I got a whole bunch of sketch layers here. It's a bit of a mess. What are all of these? Oh, yeah, because we did like some rough sketches on some lower layers and some lip practice and all that stuff. But right now I don't like seeing all this. We don't need this anymore. It's junk. It's all going in the garbo now. Yeah, that was helping me with the hands. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to work on some inking. Or rather, I guess line work, because we're not using any real inks here. Got myself another tasty seltzer water. Smelling cucumber today. Alright, I think I like. Do we like that? Maybe a little thicker? Yeah, that's fine. Alright, let's have some fun drawing Leon S. Kennedy and Ada Wong. I have mentioned this in the previous streams where I was working on this illustration. Pardon me. But I actually don't do a lot of fan art. I did early on when I was doing conventions to have like you know, fan art to sell at the cons, but it quickly, at least for me, it got to a point where I felt like I was sort of married to that, and I didn't want to be doing that. It was distracting from my own comic series. People would come to my table to check out fan art instead of the things that I really wanted to sell, and I wasn't really having a whole lot of fun at the time doing fan art. But now, since I'm between major projects to work on, major comic projects to work on, since I'm still kind of drafting, we will be getting to broadcast eventually, which is the name of the new comic idea, because I do think I figured out enough to just kind of jump into doing another webcomic series. But I wanted to take the time to practice other aspects of art that I didn't really mess around with as much while I was working on Transiltown. You know, I never really practiced coloring enough, and so we're going to spend some time doing the illustrations so that we can eventually color them and practice that some more, because while we're in between things, it's the perfect time to, as I've said, you know, in a handful of streams, is just expand those horizons. Okay. Kind of feel like his hair is kind of feeling plasticky, so I want to kind of get some other things in here, some other strands that are maybe a little loose, and then connect back to the hair to give it a bit more of a natural feel. Let's see, move on to the slide here. Gonna have some hair. It's gonna do texture here. Yeah, I'm digging that. Okay. Had a lot of fun last week with our, or earlier this week with our warm-up of Baby Yoda. Still behind on Mandalorian. I'm probably going to put some time into that tomorrow after I get all caught up to WandaVision. I'll probably do that in the morning. I think that'd be the first thing I do after I grab a cup of coffee, is watch some WandaVision and a few episodes of The Mandalorian. Not sure how much more of that I need to watch that's left. I think I'm up to, maybe the 5th or 4th episode of season 2. Not sure how many episodes are in the season. Okay, and make sure. Really get that softness and malleability of lips here. And Leon's chin. Oops. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, I'm seeing a little warning that my stream is, the video is not quite working out. If anybody's there, let me know how smooth of an experience that is. And I may, if it's an issue, I may take the time to try to adjust some things a bit. And I will say, I'm out in the living room of my apartment, and my roommate left to go grocery shopping, I believe. So any point now, he's probably gonna come through the door, and so there will be a bit of noise there. Probably won't last too long though. But I'm also pretty right next to the kitchen, so it might last a bit. We'll see how that goes. Why don't we work on these ear shapes a bit here? There we go. Now we can do the line work for that. Okay, and yeah, we're starting to get somewhere here. I do feel like maybe just a little bit more texture here. And we'll put some texture here. That flows rather properly there. Maybe a bit here. And let's zoom out a bit and see how it's starting to look. All right, fantastic. Gonna try my very best not to care too much about lines that I think are too wobbly while I'm zoomed in too far. Honestly, I think, yeah, my correction has been turned off. Because of what we were working on yesterday, I didn't want as much correction. But I am going to want it now. Yeah, that's all snapping a whole lot better now. See this here. I want to see more here. And this color. Maybe we don't want all that correction. Let's turn it down a bit. That seems more controllable. All right. Don't like that line. Okay, definitely zoom out a bit before I start doing that. Get a good idea of things. I am planning on doing a fun little thing with some friends later this week, where we're doing a little drawing jam. I may or may not show off some of what we end up doing. It's going to be some collaborative kind of stuff, so I'll definitely chat with them about permissions for sharing that kind of stuff. But I think that'd be interesting to see. Might be interesting to stream that kind of thing too. Let me know out there in the internet streaming verse, those of you who are watching in the present past or the future present, how you feel about saying those kinds of things, because I think that'd be fun. Of course, my friends would have to be down for it too. I don't like that. Honestly, I think this bit doesn't need as much texture to pull off what I want. We'll leave it like that for now. Let's see. Also resisting the urge to caffeinate today, because I already had a pretty strong glass of a cup of coffee in the morning, the beginning of the day. I'm trying not to drink nearly as much of that stuff. I think in the future too, I might do, because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, as you can probably see from what we're working on today. And lately, especially since the remake of 2, I've just been playing those games a whole lot more often, doing some fun challenge runs. I'm probably going to get back to doing a challenge run I was working on of 3 after we get all done here. And so you're probably going to see me draw a whole lot more. I'm not sure if I did the sketch I did of Lady Dimitrescu, if I'm pronouncing that properly. I don't know if I did that one on stream. I did a little sketch of her after the last trailer for Resident Evil Village came out. I'm excited for that game. Not as big into the first-person control style for Resident Evil games, but I will play it because I haven't done nearly as much in like Resident Evil 7 as I have in 2 and 3. And it's just because that first-person camera, after a while, kind of gets me a little vertigo when I'm trying to do things quickly. Because I like to do, I'm no speedrunner, but I do like to try to beat my best times. But I guess it makes me a speedrunner, but I kind of resist saying that because there are people that are infinitely better than me at that kind of thing. I like to watch a lot of speedruns of different games, even games that I don't really play, because it's interesting to see what kind of tactics and stuff people come up with. Let's see here. Okay. I think after we render this hand, we're going to move on to getting Ada's face in there. I like to, whenever I'm doing clean line work, kind of work on layers that are overlapping, or work on things that are overlapping first. So like Leon's head here was overlapping Ada's hair here, and then I kind of, or Ada's head here, and then I kind of move towards things that I feel are like kind of naturally flowing the kind of overlap that's going on here, which just led me over here to the hands. But now I'm kind of feeling coming back over here to work on Ada and this hand here, and what we're going to end up doing probably is flowing through more of her body until we get down to Leon's arm, and then we might focus on his arm and Ada's arm there. You'll see me flow around a bit like that, and that, I explain that to kind of give you guys an idea of where my mind is while I'm doing art. I don't know if this is at the end of the day going to turn into some kind of like art education channel. I don't think I'm nearly technical and have enough of an expertise to kind of do that kind of channel, but I do like explaining things. I do think it's fun to kind of pick someone's brain and what they're thinking about while they're working on things. I always think that kind of thing is interesting, and when I do get the opportunity to teach, like I'd like to do demos and stuff, I do I've been doing a yearly editorial cartoon workshop, and I like to think a lot about, like, I like to talk a lot about the thought process and the theory behind things and decisions, because I think that's the kind of thing that really helps you if you're watching this in the future present and you're interested in learning about doing art. I think learning to think like an artist and see like an artist are the most important things, rather than just like techniques. Although it's important to learn things like classical techniques, lots of people have lived and done art and figured things out so that you don't have to start from scratch. So it's important to learn things like perspective and to practice anatomy. And then once you know those things, you can kind of play around with them and turn them into whatever you want. I am not going to, I don't frequently render fingernails. And I don't know if I am going to. I see that it depends on like how close up we are to the hands. But I see that I did kind of block them in for Leon over there. And I guess if we did it over there, we felt that it was going to work, we may as well. And fingernails are definitely the kind of thing that if I feel as if something is like soft and light in comparison to something else, I tend to not like finish the line, right? So the rest of the finger is a very bad finger. My fingers are always pretty bad though. The rest of the finger I'll figure out and do really thick lines for. Within the fingernails, I'll do these unfinished light lines whenever I do decide to draw them. All right. So yeah, for sure, once we get, I don't like the shape of this finger here, so we'll clean that up a bit. Still not looking good. So yeah, once we finish up with this hand here, we will move on to Ada's face for sure. So let's adjust the knuckles a bit. Okay, there we go. I don't like that line. Oh, yeah, don't worry about that, Isaiah. You're super zoomed in. Okay, let's see how that's all looking right now. Okay, cool. So now we move on over here to Ada. I think the first thing actually is probably going to be a bit of Leon's hands here because they are going to overlap the hair. But actually, what I think I'll do, I'm going to make a new layer right now. I'm going to make a new layer to work on the line work for that because I kind of want the freedom to figure that all out and get messy, or a little messy, not worry about where the finger is right now, so that I can play around with the hair a bit. Alright, so maybe something like so. A bad habit of just kind of playing around a bit too much. Not giving enough time to figuring out certain things while I'm in the sketch, and then that leads to me kind of goofing around while I'm doing the line work. But hey, I think that's a little fun, and sometimes it's about doing things in a way that you think are fun. I say it a lot. I feel like I'm a very impatient artist, and so anything that I feel kind of is time-consuming and tedious, I try to cut out. And I think that trying to figure out what all the hair is going to look like in the clean sketch part of the phase is a little boring. And so I end up figuring that kind of stuff out here while I'm at this point, and then just kind of goofing off a bit until things I feel look good enough. And then from there I might find some things that I need to clean up and render a little better and all that good kind of stuff. Think about all of that together, like so. We're definitely going to play around in this area a little bit more because I don't feel like it looks natural enough. And I think in the future, because I am a little weak for sure at things like hair, and I think maybe in the future we'll start doing more sketches and illustrations with the intent of getting more comfortable and precise with that kind of thing. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here for lips. that's what we're really interested in. That's why we decided to draw a kiss. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this is starting to come along together. Definitely going to put some focus there in a bit. Alright, let's get that sketch layer back up. And let's part of what's going to help here is not having nearly as thick of a line for that particular line. Soften that up a bit. Yeesh, let's look at the whole thing. I don't like this line here. What I might do is actually spend a little bit of time here. Because I think getting it to do that kind of thing might be what I want. And apologies, I will get a little quieter once I get to something that I want to think about a bit. Oh yeah, I remember I wanted to have a strand that went around Leon's finger. And forgetting that is one of those things that happens when I don't clean things up very well. Alright, and we will spend a little bit of time here just figuring this out a bit more and making it look a little bit more natural. Right. Yeah, happier now with what I'm starting to jot down there. Let's clean that up a bit. And again, I'm not going to worry too much about Leon's finger there. We did make another layer specifically for drawing that out. Let's see how that looks. Do you think I want that to go like that? No, no we don't. This to do that. Clean that up. Oh. Yeah, start to feel that decision to not have a glass of coffee, cup of coffee right now. But we're going to stick by that. We're going to stick by that. We're not going to do another cup of coffee today. Good, that's sloppy. Let's clean that up. Alright. And then I think, so we want that, doing that, and this can go down like so. And then do that kind of thing. And this can connect like so. It doesn't need to go up that far. The texture's fine, like so. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Over here. And again, for now, we're just going to ignore Leon's hand. And we're just going to kind of draw through it a bit. Draw over it and around it. Its day will come. It's okay. Yeah, definitely want to clean up that line work a bit. It's kind of noticeable how sloppy it is there. Hello, how's it going? I have to say I do not recognize the screen name there. Because the "What's up" sounds very familiar. Like I should know who you are. And so I apologize that I don't recognize the screen name. But thank you for joining us today. If you're someone I know, feel free to let me know that. It's Dave. Okay, cool. How's it going, man? been a long while. No, yeah, I recognized that it was you as soon as I saw the name Dave. I think there are more Daves in my life, but you have joined me on a stream before. I just didn't recognize the screen name. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Um, yeah, so I hope you're having fun at least, and you get a chance to see what we're working on today. And even if you're just kind of listening to me, I will chat and talk about the things that I've been doing and the thought process behind today's illustration a bit. So welcome and enjoy yourself. All right, so we're definitely getting to where I'm liking a lot of what's going on with Ada's hair here. There might be some other things here that I want to clean up just a bit. So, like this line here. Do and clean up this here. Like so. Get some texture here. And some texture here, because this is where the shape is kind of bumping out a bit. So what's been going on with you, man? What have you been busy with? All right, this is starting to look good. I think I want to put some texture in some spots here. Definitely right here. Get a bit more control of the line that I'm trying to. I turn off the. See how we look. Okay, yeah, I think that's starting to look good. Let's move on. We're gonna get Ada's face in here, and then what we're gonna do is like turn that down so that we can work on Leon's hand there, but not quite yet. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, this is not for the new project. We're putting that on hold for now so that we can kind of practice up and freshen up on some things that I really did not get the opportunity to do enough of while I was working on Transiltown. So we're doing some illustrations and we're gonna be coloring them digitally so that I can get some more digital color practicing in. And so what we're doing right now is some fan art, because I think fan art is gonna kind of be fun for a handful of different reasons, like building up an audience here in the YouTube sphere by sharing the things that I love, and hopefully finding other people who are into that who are also like you, dude, we're into to what you're doing here, and we'll hang out. But also to get that illustration practice before we move on to our next big project. And in some of the earlier streams, I was working a bit on character designs and stuff for that project, and the more I thought about it, the less I kind of got into, and I should clarify, we're doing some Resident Evil fan art today, but the more that I was thinking about the story that I want to do for my next comic, the less, because at first I was like, I'm going to make something that I can pitch and focus on getting published, but the more I started thinking about it, the more I decided that I just kind of want to do another fun comic that isn't really that's a lot less narrative focused than like Transiltown even was, but something that kind of feels not just like an adventure but kind of cozy, and you can just kind of come in to see the strip that week and just kind of have some fun in that world, instead of like doing like big story arcs and stuff like that. I just kind of want to have some fun, interesting character moments or some fun moments about the world. And so once I came to that thought, I was like, this is actually going to be kind of ready to get started once um, I craft what the first adventure is going to be, and like the first few stories are going to be. So after coming to that decision, I was like, we'll put that on hold. We'll practice some things. We may even do some small projects. Like I have a little story that I want to draw. Especially, I want to knock it out here for Black History Month during February. So that might actually end up being the big thing next week. Is working on a small little a handful, a couple of strips that are based off of my granduncle's stories that he told me about some just like some funny things that he did um, during an awful time in um, American history. Just because I like the idea of people like persevering and finding fun even in like crappy situations, and also using that to kind of and also taking their little small moments to kind of like take jabs at the unfairness of the world that was the Jim Crow era. Because I don't think we get enough stories like that throughout history. So that's going to be our big project next week. I'll probably spend some time tomorrow off of the stream to actually thumbnail a few of the pages. And I think I want to after that, maybe reach out to more people and see if they have similar stories and try to get a zine together. Maybe compiling stories of people who want to share those with me, or finding other artists with similar stories in their families that they want to share and tell. So we'll see how that goes. I don't like how this is looking. We're going to be very, very simple with it and just do this. I like that. And we're going to do the same thing here. Just this. Yeah, so this is starting to look really fun, I think. Let's turn this around quick. The size of that is bothering me a bit. Maybe just that here too. Okay, yeah. So that's what we've got so far. Let me catch up to what you've been saying to me. Let's see, got back. Oh, you got a new job. Congrats. Yeah, I've been working on eating better myself too. It's been working out. I'm enjoying more things. I try to find some healthy snacks now too. Although I try to cut down on just like random snacking, but I've been into like cucumber slices and stuff like that, and just like making salads to eat, and that's been helping me with the weight loss. But yeah, good luck on your cooking adventures. When I move, I'm definitely going to be cooking a whole lot more. I'm excited about that. Um, Resident Evil fan art that's not Village Vampires. I did a bit of that. I don't think I did it on the stream, but yeah, like when that last trailer dropped, and you know, we all saw Lady Dimitrescu. I'm sure I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but I had to jump on that and draw that too. Let me see if I can pull up what I did there, and it was yeah, definitely do that. Didn't do that on a stream. But I originally came with the idea of trying to do a pose different from what I normally do. I wanted to do something with like a lot of foreshortening, and then I like made a safety layer to play around and move things around a bit, and then at some point accidentally deleted the safety layer and was not happy with the stuff that I was trying to do, and then I was like, yeah, whatever, we're just gonna knock out a sketch of her in a way that I'm comfortable with, and I just knocked out this fun pose here. But after doing it and looking at it now, scale scale isn't really being conveyed here, and I don't think that this hand here helps. I think maybe if I would have made that hand a little smaller. I do like that she's kind of like taking a bite out of the finger. Maybe I should have like a finger, like a couple of finger, like the remains of the finger there. If this drawing is something that I come back to do, I think it might be fun for color practice. Knock out the line art on this and play around with it. Or maybe after Village releases, I'll come back to that image. But to tell you the story behind why we're drawing Leon and Ada making out here, explained it a little earlier in the stream, I think. So I apologize to those of you in the future present that are watching this and already heard this explanation. But when we started live streaming again, I reached out to some friends for some like verbs, because I wanted to just like get some verbs and then practice those verbs, or come up with something from those verbs. And one of them was, one of the suggestions was kissing, and I really liked that one, especially since I hadn't really drawn a kiss before. And after that, I kind of got a little really intrigued with trying to draw lips more, and I did like some warm-up sketches where I started off the streams for the day and we just like drew lips for a bit to get some practice in on that. And then what I decided to do, I did a crackers and white wine strip over a stream, which is something I like never do, because it's very political, and it's very easy for trouble to start. And if trouble is going to start, I'd rather it just be on the strips themselves when I release that, and not in a fun streaming environment. But after what happened in January, I felt that like, screw it, I have to say something, and I'm going to say it while doing a stream and working on it. And part of that illustration, I was drawing some cops in riot gear, and I thought that that was actually pretty fun to draw, and kind of lamented the fact that I was drawing something so fun to draw for a situation that was awful. And so I was like, you know what, we're gonna do a fan art Friday eventually, and we're gonna draw Leon S. Kennedy, because I want to draw like some fun, like police, like SWAT kind of gear, but on something that like, and someone that is cool. But also, since I was kind of, and still am, kind of into drawing lips a whole lot more and rendering them more. Pardon me. I was like, you know, it'd be fun to also draw Ada and draw Leon and Ada making out. So that's how we got to where we are today. Let's I think the way I'm drawing his gloves here are a little sloppy. Very sloppy. Okay, still got a bit of my seltzer water here. I might actually go grab myself another can because I'm about to kill this. Bam, empty. And yeah, I'm gonna grab another can because my mouth will get a little dry talking all the time here. So I'm gonna step away for just a brief moment to get myself another can of this delicious cucumber melon water. saw that just looking in the refrigerator, I saw that my roommate bought some Sam Adams, and I'm a little jealous at the moment. I decided not to do any drinking this weekend because last weekend I got a little hungover, not paying attention to how much gin I was mixing over Friday night while I was chillaxing, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. And I saw that beer in the refrigerator. It's like, oh, but I do kind of want to do that again, but not in that way. We're not gonna do that again. That was not a fun Sunday. Some work issues I need to take care of. Okay, yeah, go ahead and do your thing, man. I will be here for a while. I'm gonna try to be working on this until we finish the line work today. I'm not entirely sure. Gonna try to stay around here until 11, but I might get hit by the impatience and boredom bug. So we'll see about that, especially once I get around to it. I don't like how this gun here looks there. That's gonna take some time to clean up and make look better before I start working on the line work. Alright, so back to this other hand. Alright, so I am just going to get rid of that ink layer real quick so that we can just kind of put the focus here on the finger, Leon's finger here, and not worry too much about what I had rendered on that other layer. Because all that stuff will since they're on different layers, we have the freedom to just kind of erase and clean up things that we don't need anymore once everything is in place there. That's why I went ahead and made a different layer for Leon's hand earlier. That's definitely going to get covered up. I probably shouldn't have worried about that so much. Okay, so now let's adjust those knuckles a bit. Yeah, so now we do that. We're going to go ahead and bump that up to 50. Not this one. This one stays at 100. I'm going to bump you up to 50. Alright, so this strand is going to overlap. Oops. So, now the finger is the one that's doing the overlapping right there. Clean that up. Come back here, get rid of that line. Leon's hand here, get rid of all of this here. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and put that back at 100 and take a look at that. And we can go ahead and collapse those layers now. Merge. Cool. I'm starting to get towards that gun I don't want to draw. But we're going to draw it. For now, though, let's cross that bridge when we get there. I should make that a focus of illustrations too, is drawing more mechanical things, especially since I don't really draw things like vehicles enough. And the next story I'm going to be working on or the next big webcomic project I'll be working on in the near future, I'm going to give those characters a vehicle, because I think that really works. And so it's all like, I need to get better at rendering that and mechanical things, because there's going to be some mechanical things there. So maybe we'll do some more stuff with like weapons and guns and vehicles while we're in this period of just illustrating for a while, of getting stronger at the things that I'm weak at. We do have that, our warm-up sketch project folder, and we are working on a little warm-up sketch there of Claire Redfield, and she's got her gun out. So that will definitely give us some more practice there. But while we have this illustration here, and we have Ada's gun in the holster, and we have Leon's gun in the holster, I'm a little happier with how that one looks, but it could use some refining. We're going to practice all those things. We're not going to be lazy about the things that we don't want to be working on. We are here to expand ourselves as an artist. But for now, we casually draw around the things that we want to put off for later. That's not how I want this line to look. It's a little better. Let's see how everything's looking together while I take a sip of my seltzer water. Alrighty, let's get back to it. Kind of playing a little loose with what I had there on playing a little loose with what I had there on the penciling layer there, because it wasn't quite happy with where those things were placed, those elements of her arm were placed. Again, I apologize for my extreme zooming in sometimes. So I'm going to skate around that gun a bit. We'll get to it, I swear. I feel like she's missing something. She wears a choker, doesn't she? I'm going to go look up some reference of Ada real quick. And we'll also pull up some reference of that gun of hers. I think it's the Broom HC is what her gun is. Which is a weapon I would like to use more often in Resident Evil 2, but only her and Daniel Cortini use it. I don't really like Daniel Cortini's mode. I actually like the Ghost Survivors DLC for that game. I know a lot of people didn't, but I don't like the Horde mode. That was a pain in the butt to get the achievements for. Okay, so got some reference of her gun there, and let me look at a picture of Ada Wong, because I do think she wears a choker. Yes, she does. I didn't even need to do it. I forgot that we did this whole thing. when we were getting comfortable drawing Leon and Ada before we started working on this picture. Ooh, looking at this, Leon, I don't like your face, buddy. I'm glad you end up looking like this in the illustration we're working on. First of all, that needs to go more like that. We'll do this kind of thing here. I don't know why I'm sitting over here trying to sketch on this thing. This doesn't matter, right? We came here to look at Ada. Cause yeah, she has a choker. So why don't we go back to, yeah, we need to close this. Well, we'll keep you open in case there's something else I need to look at. Wrong one. There we go. So we'll go back here to the penciling layer. Sketch in that choker of hers. I'm actually looking up some other pictures because I was a little lazy on the little sketch I had, a little practice sketch I had of Ada, of what her choker looks like. Okay. There's a circle. It's a bit wider. So there's a bit of texture to it that I will not be drawing because that will that'll get really busy looking. Like so. We're gonna reduce our line weight here. There we go. Let's clean that up just a bit more. All right. Also seeing some things with her hair here that I want to get in there. All right, there we go. See how that looks. All right. This part right here could stand to be a little larger. There we go. And I know I'm not going to get all that texture in there that's actually on the choker, but I think a little bit. Yeah, I think a little bit there is fine. Kind of gives it this intriguing shape. Let's finish up the neck over here. And the hair is behind it. Okay, I see what's going on here. Oops. Let's clean all this up here. And we'll follow this line here. That line there really bugs me. You need to go away. All right. All right. I think it's time to stop dancing around that gun in her holster and render it out a little bit more. Although I do think Leon's face here could use a bit of texture. Let me look at a picture of him. Get like a jawline, jawbone, or something like that. Here. Maybe chisel out his face a bit. Just a bit. Yeah, I think something like that works. It looks a little better there. Well, before we work on that gun holster, this hand is a shape that's going to be overlapping that general area, so I kind of want to get that in place. Get a little bit of Leon's arm here. Again, I'll apologize for this as many times as it takes, but I apologize for zooming in so far, but this small tablet, I feel like I get enough control, and I'll always keep that in mind and try not to overwork, darn it, not overwork what at the end of the day is going to be small details. But there are some times where I'm just like, I don't have the control I need, and I need to zoom in more. There we go. All right, now to look at this weapon of hers. Maybe some pictures of her where I can see it in the holster better. I wish that the computer I'm using right now isn't a computer I use for gaming, because it's not very powerful. The gaming PC that we have here in my apartment currently belongs to my roommate, but I will be purchasing that off of him before I move, since we've been using it like in our living room connected to the TV, but he has another computer that he uses that's just as strong, and so he could use the extra money after I move out. So he offered to sell it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. I don't have anything that I could play Resident Evil on without that thing. But I bring that up because my buddy Chris in one of our streams here made the suggestion of using screenshots that I take myself for reference, which I think is really cool, and I think would definitely help with these guns, for sure. Because not being able to find the angle I want, or a clear picture of the angle I want, is rather obnoxious. Let me see if I can blow up this image. How large is this image? Not as large as I would like, but good enough to show me enough reference. Okay, and so this is, let me get another picture of the gun, which I closed at some point. Let me find it. So we can look at this at various little angles here. This actually has a notch that goes out like so. I'm not quite seeing in one of the pictures, but I see it in the picture I'm looking at. And the contour of this, and then it goes like this, which is going to be under the holster here, but I want to see enough of it here for now. And this is a straight, kind of slanted contour. Let's look at this other image I have open. It's got this fun grain texture here. It goes here and drops down like this. And this is where the holster shape is going to come in a bit. It comes like this and covers up the trigger. Like so. Do I need to see more of that to get? No, that's going to end up being covered. Okay. And I'm not getting the clear shot of if it's like strapped into the holster or not, or if it's kind of, there's no, but we're going to go ahead and have a little strap there. That feels safe to me. Like so. And let's look back at the gun shape again. So this. Okay, so I think that is a whole lot better than what we had there. Much happier with that. Okay, and I think that makes me happy too. So this is There we go. This is starting to get somewhere. This here is another shape I'm definitely going to put a little bit more time into before we do clean line work there. But I think I'm all right with the general shape of this, but I will look up some reference of his Matilda just to get that to look the part better. But for now, let's move on. We're gonna actually, before we do that, let's clean some things up here on this sketch layer here, so that I can go ahead and just collapse the new gun sketch here. So I kind of want to reduce having a bunch of extraneous layers that I don't need. So I just want to make sure that's nice and clean. Pink. There we go. So now all we need to do is just collapse these two together. Merge. Go. It's all on one layer now. And reduce the opacity again. Okay, so we're going to get these hands in, and then we're going to do the line work for that gun. I considered for this illustration like having Ada pocketing the G-Virus file, but at the end of the day I figured that I wanted to give these two the passionate kiss that they will never share in the actual story here in my fun little illustration. Just kind of stretching it out real quick. Right. It's a shame Leon's hand here gets covered up so much. There are some really fun shapes in his glove. Okay. There are times where I like to pull out things like straight line tools and stuff like that. But I do think that for some, and that's important a lot of times, but I do think for
This gun, I am going to just kind of freehand it because I feel that doing that, the profile for that is too large. I feel that by doing that, it ends up feeling more like part of the character, I suppose. Because if I start pulling out the straight lines and then drawing this gun in perfect perspective, I kind of feel it doesn't have the same kind of energy as the characters have. And to me, it starts to feel kind of like in a cartoon when you know an object is going to move because it's cell colored rather than um, painted in the background. Um, and I feel sometimes that if I it's very fun for background elements. You guys saw me working on buildings yesterday or last time. I don't know when you're watching this. You're probably watching it in the future present. Um, and you probably haven't seen the other one. I don't know. But in that case, when it's a background element, I think it's just fine because of that same kind of effect of feeling like an old cartoon. Um, but when it's an object that I feel like it should move and it should have the same kind of energy as the character, I tend to prefer to do it this way. And it may lack some accuracy because of it, but at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it has the right energy at the end of the day. Now there will be moments where there are things like when I was drawing Transiltown, Alicia's sword, I would use curve tools to assist in making those lines right because I just felt like that object really needed it. A lot of the time, I don't think there were very few times where I wouldn't use it, use the tools that way. But there were other objects where I would draw it freehand without using some kind of tool like that because it would have the right energy. And so it depends on the situation. I think that if it's something like a gun being pointed at someone, um, I would take the time out to draw it in very proper perspective because I think that at that moment the mechanical shape of the object is very important, especially if it's like in some sort of cool pose where the gun ends up being the focus of the pose. But for this right here, I think that this really it ends up feeling like part of the character as opposed to something that's not part of the character. Although there are some things about what we chose for the perspective here that's not gelling with me. Give me a moment while I clean that up. So this is, I want this line. Okay, we're going to go back to where we were real quick because I think that all I really want is to do this kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's all I really wanted. And I am zoomed in rather far, so I am trying to be aware of that so I don't end up over-rendering things too much. Like, as part of me wants to start kind of putting in the texture of the gun, but it's like if once I zoom out, it's going to be a mess if I do that. Yeah, there we go. I'm very happy. Very happy with that. Okay, I do think that maybe, just maybe, oops, giving it a bit of thicker line work is going to help the day here. Yeah, there we go. That looks great. Try to look at some more pictures of Ada here. And this. Maybe not quite like that. Like so. Alright, and now for some of these shapes that are overlappingly on here. And this little bow on her outfit is actually rather small, but I thought it was really fun, and I wanted to make it a little larger and exaggerate it just a bit. Once again, that decision not to have another glass of coffee is coming to haunt me, but it's all right. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it without doing more coffee today. I for sure don't think we're gonna end up finishing the line work here today, simply because we spent a little time rendering out the hair here, a little time here, fixing up the gun there. I want to fix up the handcuffs here in Leon's pouch. I want to put another pouch there, and I want to look up some reference for the Matilda. So all of those things are definitely going to make this illustration take a little bit longer to finish the clean line work phase of things. And so that means that most likely we're going to be picking up finishing the line work on another Fan Art Friday, which is fine. This has been a fun project, so why not take our time on it and make it look the best we can. And if that means that we have to take some time, that's fine. We'll be back here another Friday to work on it. But for now, we're still working on it, so. And I think it's turning out just fine. It's looking great. I don't know what that line was for. Why did I put that there? Let me look at a good picture of Ada. Figure out what I was thinking with that line. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking with that ribbon. Could use the other parts of it. We'll have it kind of tucked in here. Stretching out a bit more there. been sitting down in this chair for a while now. Definitely when the move happens, I am going to be buying a more comfortable chair so that I can more reasonably sit here for a long while. I feel like I didn't render some things here with Leon. That should be his collar there. Yeah, I sure did not. Well, we'll get to that in a bit. Darn undo. Sometimes just does not cooperate correctly. Starts undoing other things it should not be undoing. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay. That lack of a collar there is bothering me, but we're gonna render that later. That'll probably be the last thing we work on tonight here, because I think pretty much what we're gonna do today is kind of get this this torso area around all that done today, and then we'll save the rest of the finish line work for later on our next Fan Art Friday. We still got a little bit of time before that though, so let's hop to it. And you see, he's also got a radio here, but I don't think we're going to see it from where we are. I should not have gotten rid of my rough sketch layer. Now I think about it. Yeah, because there were some little elements there that could use some more work. let's work on Leon's sleeve here a bit. Alright. And I do apologize, I'm being a bit silent now, and it's mostly because I've run out of steam. The lack of caffeine is catching up with me. But we have... I'm not going to caffeinate it up. No. We've done our limit of that today. But yeah, we're really getting somewhere on this. Alright, let's get this elbow pad here. This is what I thought, you know, drawing someone in some SWAT gear or some like riot gear or something like that was going to end up being really fun, because there are all kinds of shapes here. All kinds of shapes. Get it all. And I think this, I lost a line there. Darn undo. Alright. There we go. Let's take a look at things. Okay. Let's do a smaller shape first. There we go. And we'll finish this up here. I think I do want a bit of texture right here. And right about here. I'll make some changes to that in the future up there. Looking up some more reference of Leon, because I didn't quite get this shape jotted in very well here.
he's got a little pocket right here. Let's zoom out a bit. Very clear picture of that. Some wrinkles here. And we're going to come back over here to the sketch layer. Draw. The only letter we're really going to get to see here is the R. Darn it. Okay. Here we go. Do better than that. There we go. This line right here. And let's get in this missing color. Oh, there's also like this really fun loop shape right there. I may draw that, I may not, but it looks kind of fun. Get rid of a little bit of that. All right, so you definitely won't be able to see his walkie-talkie from the angle that we have there, so do I really want that loop shape there? Let's see what it looks like. It might get a little busy with it. Might be something to drop. But it looks fun. I like fun things. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Get a little bit of texture of this body armor a bit. Okay, yeah, and so I think that's going to be where we leave off for tonight. We'll come back to this next Friday. But I say that, but this I want to take this. We're just gonna copy all. Boom.
something small like one of my CWW things. Yeah, you can convert it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we'll pick another size here. File, new page. We'll do one of the translate town sizes, maybe. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Because what intrigues me right now is that just having it drawn up to this point actually makes for a pretty interesting shape, right? Oops, how did I get all the way over there? Look at that. That's really cool, huh? We're still gonna finish the illustration, but I'm gonna save this. Call you. I'm just gonna call this Kiss Cut, Kiss Crop. Yeah, we're definitely gonna finish the full illustration, but I just thought that this looked too nice to not just preserve it like this. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so that's going to be it tonight. We will, even though I'm preserving that for fun, and we might do another, like, once we color the full illustration, we might actually do something different with the colors for just that little tiny bit. Because that looks like it makes, like, for a fun sticker or something, right? But yeah, we will continue the actual illustration another day. And that's going to be it for today. Thanks a lot to all of you here with me in the present past, and to all of you who check this out in the future present. Thank you so much as well. I'll check you guys out next time.